Hey, it's Carmichael, and in today's video, I'm gonna give you my take on Gary V's best advice on how to win using voice. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Use the new age advantages.
I think it's very hard for us in this room at this moment, at this apex of text messaging and mobile addiction. I think it's hard for us to understand that there's a high likelihood that in 10 years, that so many of you are gonna give up on texting for voice AI devices. It's just hard to make the leap that what you've now become completely foundationally living on as your execution of communication as a platform is going to be disrupted. No different. You know, it's funny. I love when young becomes old. I love that there's so many people in here that I know and so many of my friends that are now in their 30s, 40s, 50s, who were such thought leaders 20 years ago, 25 years ago about digital and social and the internet itself, who now are gonna struggle with this transition, who don't think they're gonna stop texting in the same way that they made fun of people who didn't think they were gonna text a decade ago. And so I think for everybody here, I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs here and a lot of Fortune 500s here. And I think the theme for me is you're about to hear a lot of incredible data, right? When you know, depending on the study you look at, when you look at 50 to 100 million devices in home already, you know, AI voice devices in the marketplace, when you think about how many more that's going to be in the next 12 to 24 months, but more importantly, for the people that are advanced in their technology thinking, when you know in a half decade it's not even gonna be those devices and it's gonna be integrated into every single product in our lives, including when your shower head is voice activated and you remember something that you need to do and you just tell somebody you're gonna be 10 minutes late or what's my meeting tonight at 7. I don't think that we have quantified our unbelievable addiction for speed. Everything that happens, pretty much, I'm a simple guy. I talk a lot about day trading attention. A lot of it is just predicated on the fact that you guys hate friction. That we as a society give up everything. Privacy, we will give up privacy all day to win back 3 minutes. We just love speed. We subconsciously understand that time, you know, you hear that saying time is, right? We subconsciously deeply understand that. To me, it was really fascinating early on to see Uber succeed, watching Travis navigate that business and later as an early investor. What struck me so early on is like, these people can't afford it. I was looking at some of the data, I'm like, they can't afford it. Why are they taking these $28, right? They can't afford it. And what you just start realizing is convenience is king. I grew up in retail. Convenience is king is super duper real. There is nothing more convenient than voice infrastructure around us, period. This space is going to win, and it's going to win in a big game and in a big way.
Rule number 2, seek attention.
The only thing that matters is attention. That's what you're trading on. The only thing that matters is other people's attention, because without it, it doesn't matter what you're creating, right?
Yeah.
That's why you don't delete Snapchat. That's why you get good at things. That's why, Alexa, play my daily briefs.
Here's your flash briefing. From Gary V 365.
Am I watching the patterns of 14-year-old teenagers who... That exists. Alexa, stop. That exists because I know that's the next landscape of attention. And so I already know that voice is the next social media, and that's why I have a top 100 podcast, and that's why I have an Alexa flash already.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
In a success world, please understand that success is happiness, not net dollars in. The reason people aren't patient is they value other people's opinions too much. My ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur. Like, I would never take a note. Like, that scares the out of me what these 3 people are doing right now.
Rule number 3, diversify.
Any business here that digs in its heels and thinks the traditional distribution of radio is going to win out the game in the next decade is going to lose. The internet will continue to eat up market share. It will happen. And when it happens, The important part is to make sure you are diverse if you're in the distribution business across building briefings and skills across the voice devices that will dominate the homes and the behavior and the offices and the cars of all of our consumers. And podcasts will continue to grow, and people listening to audio through video products will continue to grow. And if you happen to be in the content business in here, well, get ready to get rich. Because if you have the best content over this half century, it's going to work out. It's as simple as that. The art is now winning the business leverage game, not the pipes. Because the pipe came along that changed the course of the industry. It's called the internet. We continue, from me down in this room, to wildly underestimate the internet.
Rule number 4, understand people.
So it's really been one long game for me to get to this moment of understanding. It's the same reason that I'm pot committed, completely obsessed with the toll booth that the voice devices are gonna be in our society in a decade. The amount of transactions and decisions that will be made through Google Home or Alexa, because it's gonna save us time, and we will always choose convenience. This is a really fun time for me in our society where everybody's talking about privacy, and I actually know that you don't give a shit about privacy. I mean it. Humans prove it every single day, but we care about time, and we love convenience.
And rule number 5, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is be flexible.
Radio works when the audio content is consumed and the creative coming out of the human's mouth influences the person on the other side and to do the transaction that the company wants, whether that's to buy a sneaker or go to a concert. Audio, much like what I'm doing right now, is a form of communication that has the ability to change one's mind. And that's always powerful. But because I roll the way I roll, the conversation is not audio. The conversation is you're using the literal interpretation of radio. You may be using it under the context of all distribution. You may. Most people view it. You may. I don't know, and that's fine. Honestly, I have no vested interest or even passion one way or the other. But I would not want to be a linear network today. I do not want to be CBS, NBC, and ABC in 2020 selling empire. I want to be an OTT or YouTube. That's just the reality of what consumers are doing. And this is historic. By the way, everybody who's listening or watching, go do your history lesson of what happened when the radio came out to the newspaper industry, or when the television came out to the radio industry, or when cable came to the 13 channels, or when the internet came to cable, or when the OTT, I mean, this is just forever. This will be forever. People used to do smoke signals on mountains. That's how we talked. People used to draw in caves. That was real. That is how we sold. Things change, and we need to change with them. Pictures and video and words and audio, that will never change. That's how we communicate. Where we communicate it and in what distribution form is constantly changing. Some things get 50 years, some things get 3 minutes. The internet's gonna get a long time. MySpace didn't have the longest time. Vine didn't have the longest time. TikTok may or may not. It may be Facebook and YouTube. It may not. But at the moment, if you want to sell something to a 15-year-old in America, TikTok is the place you need to put your energy. That's just real life.
Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1, where are you going to better use voice in your business? Number 2, what are you gonna do today to get started? And number 3, how can you put it in your calendar so that you stay consistent? And if you made it this far in a video, I wanna celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
To me, the thing that I'm probably most passionate about with voice is the fact that brand has never become more important. Every single person here is going to buy an obnoxious amount of products, goods, and services on a voice device in a decade. And I mean most of it. When that happens, you will start realizing why things like Kleenex and Xerox and Uber were the most important plays. If you do not start the process right now of branding Chips Ahoy over cookies What's going to happen is we're just going to say, Alexa or Google, send me some chocolate chip cookies. And our battle is going to be, Alexa, send me some Chips Ahoy. Because I promise you, because Amazon is a gangster. If you say Chips Ahoy, you've got to get those. But if you say cookies, you're getting Amazon's private label, and or Mondelez in that scenario is paying $1 quadrillion. You know, I laugh when I meet with my CPG clients. They're concerned about the amount of money they have to pour into trade. And for the entrepreneurs in this room, that means good end caps at Walmart when you walk in, and how much they extract, or when they're on deal, they have to subsidize the coupon price. That's gonna be child's play compared to being the default product when somebody asks for a category product. When you ask for jeans, how much is Calvin Klein or Levi's gonna have to pay to be that product versus the margin that Amazon makes in having their own private label versus Google going out and buying Levi's and owning it and making that the default. My friends, I think the Amazon purchase of Whole Foods was a watershed moment that finally got people to understand that this is just starting. That these companies have a lot of leverage. When Target sells to Amazon or Facebook or Google, people are gonna start waking up to what's happening. And the thing that's fascinating to me is that voice, in a lot of ways, has that parallel impact. I do not think people understand how much voice is going to affect the entire restaurant industry. There is no Open Table or Resi or things like that, or Yelp. There's voice. And the smarts is something that I think a lot of people are going to struggle with. How many people here saw the Google presentation with the assistant making the reservation? Just raise it high. What do you think that technology looks like in 7 years? Right? I mean, this is getting continuously smarter. The other thing that fascinates me is the things we think we don't want versus the things we do want. I think that most people, when the propaganda goes against voice devices, listening to you, people are gonna talk about that's scary, that's I'm not gonna have one, privacy, yet I think 9 out of 10 of you are not actually gonna care about that. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for 20 bucks a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want Gary Vee's essential tips for marketing success, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.